Jai Shri Gurudev. Good morning, children. Hope you are all safe and fine. Children, in the previous videos, we have completed the first lesson. Now, we are going to start the second poem, The Gymnastic Clock. Children, welcome back to the online class. And now, as I told you, we'll start the next poem, that is the Gymnastic Clock. Children, can you see the picture here? Yes, this is the poem what you have in your textbook. Please follow the words from your PDF format of the textbook. This is the poem Gymnastic Clock, which is written by M.C. Davies. Children, before reading the poem, let us read about the poetess M.C. Davies. You observe the picture here. She is the author of this poem, The Gymnastic Clock. M.C. Davies was born in Washington and she was educated in California. She was a poet and prose writer. She wrote lyric poems, children's verse, a novel, short stories, and several one act plays, one of which, The Slave with Two Faces, has had successful presentation. She published The Drums in Our Street in the year 1918 and in 1919 brought out a collection her poems under the title Youth Riding. Children, this is the brief information about the poetess M.C. Davies. She was born in Washington and she was educated in California. As she was born in Washington, but she completed her education in California. She was a poet and a writer. She wrote many poems, children, as well as the prose also. She wrote lyric poems. Children, when we sing the poems, we say as lyric poems. So such poems she has written. Children's verse. She has written many poems for children also. A novel means the books, short stories, and several one act plays. So she has written the skits, the role plays, which gave her a lot of popularity. One of which, The Slave with Two Faces, has had successful presentation. The role play, or we can say the act play. So such act play was The Slave with Two Faces. This brought her a lot of popularity. She published The Drums in Our Street in the year 1918. So even this is one of the book which was published in the year 1918. The book is The Drums in the Street, and in 1919 brought out a collection or poems under the title Youth Riding. So in the year 1919 more books of her collection brought under the title Youth Riding. This was a brief information about the poetess, children. Hope you have understood. Please go through the poetess in depth once again after this session. Children, before starting the poem, I wanted to introduce some new words which you have to know the meaning of these words. First of all, gymnastic. What do you mean by gymnastic? It is nothing but physical exercise. Have you seen gyms near your house? Yes, many youths will go to gyms or they will do the exercises in the park early in the morning. So gymnastic is nothing but physical exercises. Many gyms are there throughout everywhere, and some people will go to parks where they have gym equipments and they do exercises to make their body fit and fine. This is gymnastic. That is nothing but physical exercises to keep ourselves fit. Plain. Plain meaning is nothing but ordinary or simple. So if it is very a plain, means it is very simple, means very ordinary. Then boast. So boast is nothing but praise of oneself. So if we praise others, that is nothing but boasting. We say as boasting, is it not? So praising of oneself. Lower, bring down. It keeps us down. Lowering, coming down, bringing down. Swing, move back and forward or from side to side. Children, have you seen the swing in the parks? Yes, we play. Usually the children, small children will play in the swing. So they'll tie to the rods, is it not? Sitting on the platform, a wooden bar will swing. So that is moving forward and backward or from side to side. This is nothing but swing. I hope you have all played in the swing. So hope you have understood these new words before starting the poem. Now let us move on to the poem. Children, the gymnastic clock. Nothing but the physical clock, physical exercise. So as I told you, the meaning of gymnastic is nothing but physical exercise. So we have a clock which works every time physically. So it is an exercise for the clock, written by MC Davies. The little clock is friends with me. It talks as plain can be, and says each morning as it rises, "Now don't forget your exercises. Both hands above your head, then lower them very slowly. So, ho, don't get tired and stop that way. I exercise like this all day." Right in its face, then I say, "Oh, I wouldn't boast of it like you, but I can swing my arms round too." And so the clock then looks at me, and I look back, and I and he. Each single morning when we rise, just exercise and exercise. Children, the clock is saying these words. The clock, the little clock is friends with me, means it is a friend for all of us, is it not? Why? Because it is very simple. It talks in a very simple manner. It talks as plain as can be, very ordinary clock, and says each morning as it rises. So whenever we get up from our bed, we look at the clock usually, is it not? Why? Because to see the time. And if we keep an alarm also, it rises, it wakes up. So we look at the clock, it rises us. Now don't forget your exercises. So it reminds us to do the exercises, we should not forget it. Both hands above your head, and so just do the exercises by lifting your hands, then lower them very slowly. So then after lifting your hands, make it slow, bring it down, that is lower very slowly. Oh, don't get tired and stop that way. Do these exercises continuously. If you get tired also, don't stop it. I exercises like this all day. The clock is saying us, I exercise every day like this. My arms will move, rotate every time. I won't get tired at all. So you people should not also stop the exercises. This is giving suggestion for us to do the exercises. Right in its face, then I say, "Pooh, I wouldn't boast of it like you. I don't praise myself. You should not get tired. If I am very fit and fine, I do the exercise continuously, but I won't boast of oneself. But I can swing my arms round too." So, have you observed the clock, children? Yes, two hands will be there. So, it will be rotating every the hour hand and the minute hand. Sometimes we'll have seconds hand also. These arms will never get tired. It will be swinging then. And so the clock then looks at me. So the clock looks at us, and I look back, and I and he, each single morning when we rise. So every day when we rise, we look up the clock, but it won't be weak. It will be very strong and very active by doing exercises every time. Each single morning when we rise, just exercise and exercise. So as the clock is not at all tired in his life, even we should not get tired. Every morning as soon as we see the clock, how active it is. So even the same way, even we should work hard and we should exercise to keep our body fit and fine. Hope did you understood, children? Children, go through the poem, memorize it. Means learn the poem completely so that you can understand clearly. So this is about the gymnastic clock, children. Please go through the poem once again, and if you have any doubts, please ask me. Thank you, children. Stay home, stay safe.